In a land of sunshine where the palm trees sway, there's a special show to brighten up your day. From rockin' festivals to Broadway dreams, tune in with Bonnie G. It's a desert scene, the desert scene with Bonnie G. Meet the stars and feel the beat. From the Coachella Valley is the place to be, for all the culture, fun, and harmony. The desert scene, yeah, with Bonnie G.
Mutual Broadcasting welcomes you to the Desert Scene, featuring conversations with the people who make culture, art, and entertainment happen in the Coachella Valley. From local theater to live music, art exhibits to cinema and beyond. The Desert Scene is presented by El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City. Now, here is your host, Bonnie G.
And welcome to the Desert Scene. So happy to have you here, and very happy to welcome to the show Gina Zollman, wonderful singer. Has got a show coming up Sunday, November 24th at the Arthur Newman Theater. Hi, Gina. How are you?
I'm great, Bonnie. How are you?
Good. So I love the title of this, Gina Zollman Originals, but the word is stretched out, so Gina, kind of the G-I-N-A in the middle, sort of stands alone. How did you come up with that title and logo?
It's funny, but in my 20s, I said someday I'm going to do a show like that, because I knew I always look for my name. My name Gina is in a lot of words, so I always said someday I'm going to do a show of all originals, and I'm going to title it Originals. Okay. Originals.
And so songs about love, life, and finding your way in the world. So have you been writing your own stuff for quite a while?
Well, I always have. I started writing like at age 9. I wrote parodies. I grew up with the Smothers Brothers and Alan Sherman and Tom Lehrer and a lot of comedy in my childhood, so I wrote parodies. The first one I wrote was a parody of Yesterday about chess. Yesterday, chess was such a easy game to play, but they changed the rules every day. Oh, chess is really hard to play. And I made funny songs. But when I started doing my own shows in my 30s, I always had a parody or an original song in the show, because it makes it more unique. It makes it your personal stamp on the show. Mm-hmm.
And now, do you write both lyrics and music?
I write primarily lyrics, but we share. Like, I'll send over the lyric, he'll send me back the tune, I'll go, I think the bridge should be shorter, or I need a build here, or I'd rather have this be a different rhyme. Can you help me? And he'll think of a different lyric for me. So we go back and forth. We don't live in the same town. He lives in San Pedro, and that's where his studio is, Kevin Fisher. Mm-hmm. And he works with Todd Schroeder. You know Todd, right?
That name sounds really familiar. I'm not sure why.
Kevin is what they call a made man in the music business. He's had platinum records with Sarah Evans, Little Big Town, Rascal Flatts, Uncle Kracker. He's had songs on True Blood, Game of Thrones,
wow.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Mm-hmm. He's really out there in a big way. And he was my teacher. I met him on Facebook, and it was the third round of lyric writing classes I took. I took from Marcy Heisler in New York and Mark Winkler in L.A., and I found out about Kevin. And the difference was he wanted me to produce with music, not just produce a lyric, but team up with some musicians. So I did that, and he was so impressed when I asked him to help me write 2 songs for my Anne Murray show that we would pitch to Anne Murray if she were still recording. He said, sure. So we did Any Road You Choose and Magical Kiss, which are on this first Originals show. And we got a wonderful response. And so all summer long we worked. I was up in the Pacific Northwest, and we were trading ideas and talking. And we got 16 songs done this summer.
Wow. So how did you...
All together.
And so now, so does Kevin do all the music? So you are kind of... Your lyrics is your ballpark and his is the music?
He's got the lion's share of the production. He does the backup vocals. He writes the parts. He does all the instruments in his studio. He has about 11 guitars
Wow.
to choose from because he's got a master's in music production, and he's extremely accomplished. So what we do is we get him to do a background track, and then I practice to it. And then I go into the studio, lay down the vocal, and then he tweaks it more with doubling up my voice so that it's stronger on the melody. Mm-hmm. And I do vocals to match him in the backup singer department. But he does the majority of the work, and it's amazing because he's a one-stop shop. If I were to have to hire musicians to do this, it would be really out of my budget.
Mm-hmm. And so the show that you're doing on Sunday, November 24th, are you using tracks and a pianist, or what's your instrumentation like?
That's a good question. It's going to be tracks plus Kevin on guitar and both of us on vocals.
Okay. And how did you choose songs about love, life, and finding your way in the world? I mean, those are big subjects. Did you have a lot of stuff that you had already written to choose from when you put this show together?
That's another very good question. I have 3 different lyric teachers. Marcy Heisler, I did 2 classes with her on a Zoom call from New York. Mark Winkler, 2 classes with him on a Zoom call from LA. And every week we came up with different songs, so I had 56 songs to choose from.
Wow.
And so we narrowed it down to 16. And we have 2 more coming. We've got What About This and I'm Getting a Dog, a little funny novelty song. And we have the similar touch points, like I'll say, what do you think about this novelty song? And he says, I hear it like an Irene Crowell, who's a jazz singer, Nice Weather for Ducks. Well, I happen to perform Nice Weather for Ducks in one of my shows, which is very obscure. Mm-hmm. But we do that. We said Brick Red Barn is about building our house in the Pacific Northwest. And I said, this has a Johnny Cash feel to it because some of our songs have a little country western theme. And he completely got my vibe and produced it like he was reading my mind. So we have a little bit of a commonality in our reference points in music.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful in something like this. We're going to take a really, really quick break here on the Desert Scene with Gina Zollman. We'll ask her more about her musical background in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Craving a delicious meal that won't break the bank? Look no further than El Portal Mexican Restaurant in Cathedral City. At El Portal, we pride ourselves on offering family-friendly dining with affordable prices on our authentic Mexican cuisine. Owner Victor Lupercio and his dedicated staff make you feel like part of the family. Whether you choose to dine in, take out, or opt for delivery, you can always count on fresh, mouth-watering dishes that will transport you to the heart of Mexico. Enjoy discounts throughout the week and explore one of the Valley's best selections of tequila to complement your meal. Join us for live entertainment on Friday evenings and consider El Portal for your next special occasion with our catering services. Visit eatelportal.com for more details and discover why El Portal Mexican Restaurant has become a culinary gem in the desert. El Portal, located 1 block south of Ramon on De Palm and Via Olivera.
And we're back on the Desert Scene. So let's go back a little bit, Gina. Did you, and I know we've talked about this before and other times you've been on the show, tell me a little bit about your musical background as a child. Do you have a musical family? Was it sort of in the genes?
Well, that's funny. My dad was in a glee club at Manhattan College with Dennis Day. I don't know if you remember Dennis Day.
I do.
From
I do. Yeah.
Jack Benny show. Yeah. So he could carry a tune, and he wasn't necessarily a soloist, but he always encouraged my singing. I was in the singing groups from age 6 on. My first performance was in front of 400 people, and at the PTA, I sang a Japanese song because we were studying Japan in first grade, and I sang a Japanese song in front of the whole PTA, and I wasn't scared at all. It was funny.
Wow, good for you.
Yep, and then I was in the choirs from age 9 on, and my choral apex or the high point was singing in 1998 at Carnegie Hall with the Marina Singers. We sang the Gloria and the Te Deum from John Rutter's Mass. And what was great about that was being in the green room where that's where Judy Garland was. That's where all the famous acts were. And going on stage was so moving to me. Afterwards, I cried for half an hour.
Wow.
It was very moving.
And now, so has music kind of been your career? I think you had another career, investments or something for a while, another thing that you did business-wise?
Well, I was a yuppie.
Okay.
I got out of college, and I had majored in linguistics, so I could speak a couple of languages, and I had traveled a lot, and I thought, I want to sell expensive things to rich people, because that's what I'm...
Okay.
So I became a stockbroker. I was trained on Wall Street, and I had a successful retail stockbroker career in San Diego for 5 years. And then it was sort of like learning a language, learning finance. Mm-hmm. And once I had mastered it, and I had 400 clients, and I had a client on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, and I had a Saudi Arabian prince, and I had all these accomplishments, I was bored to tears, Bonnie.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't need this. So I moved to L.A., and my dad hired me to work for his restaurant equipment company, and it is as boring as it sounds. It was horrible. Okay. For 2 years, I just tried to make it work, and then I quit, and I said, Dad, I want to go into show business. So he said he'd help me, and I, for a year and a half, worked on my first one-woman show. I took a class at UCLA Extension with Shelley Markham. I'm not sure if you know him.
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, Andrea Marcovicci's accompanist. And put on my first show at the Gardenia in 1987.
Wow, and that you just kind of took off from there?
Yeah, I did. I did a show in 1993 at the Hollywood Roosevelt Cinegro, which is across the street from the old Man's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And that was, I did 3 shows there, actually, all sold out, standing room only, and 3 standing ovations. It was a real success.
Excellent. Now, when did you come to the desert and make the desert your home?
2012, I started out working with Derek Lewis.
Mm-hmm. I know Derek very well.
And It's Better with a Band, and I worked a lot, mostly fun things, like with Les Michaels when he was being an impresario here. Yeah. And I worked with Lori Donato, and I did the jazz series at the Palm Desert Library, and I worked at Azul and the 1020 and a couple other places. They change names, but they're generally music venues. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, I would recommend everyone go see the show. And if you haven't gone to the Sunday Cabaret Series, it's really fun. Arthur Newman Theater at the Jocelyn Center, Catalina Way in Palm Desert. Gina's show is Sunday, November 24th. Showtime 3 p.m. Doors open 2:30. $20 cash only at the door. Such a deal. Congratulations on this. Break a Leg. Gina Zollman Originals. That sounds great. Sounds like such fun. Congratulations, Break a Leg, and thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you too, Bonnie. Take care.
All right, Gina Zollman, and thank you. We'll see the rest of you the next time on The Desert Scene.
The Desert Scene with Bonnie G. Meet the stars and feel the beat. From the Coachella Valley, it's the place to be. For all the culture, fun, and harmony. The Desert Scene, yeah, with Bonnie G. The Desert Scene's where you belong with Mutual Broadcasting's Bonnie G. Just sing along. Just sing along.